Bijan Robinson's out there too. And supposedly running backs are not supposed to be taken high. And we will be talking about, no doubt, in our draft coverage, is that the defending world champs, whose town we will be in, and they won the Super Bowl with a 7th-round pick leading their rushing attack. And he scored in the Super Bowl out of Rutgers, Isaiah Pacheco. And yet, this kid, Bijan Robinson, is really, really talented and can change the fortune of an NFL team just by him being picked.
I keep looking at Philly in this draft, and I'm like, why wouldn't you go get a guy on a first contract?
Because they're all about blocking.
Which I get.
And tackling on that line, not running through it. That's what they're about, because they can run through it with Miles Sanders, and all you got to do is put Boston Scott against the Giants, and he'll score 5 touchdowns. So
I think Bijan is the best non-quarterback offensive player in the draft. I think that if
does that include linemen too? You would throw that on linemen? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's so versatile. He's a lot like Christian McCaffrey. Now, he's not going to get that comparison a lot, but he is really good inside the tackles, good vision, jump cut, lateral movement, really good outside of the tackles. He has home run ability. We've seen him make guys miss, have top end speed, but he also catches it really well, both out of the backfield and lined up in the slot. He can move around. He's a smart player. Texas really struggled on the offensive line, and yet he still produced, never complained about it. Great teammate, hard worker. At some point, when we see, let's take the Cowboys for example.
Oh boy, let's.
I'm not saying that they're going to take Bijan, but when was Dak Prescott his best? When Zeke was the best running back in football.
Okay.
Zeke was the best running back in football, in part because he was on his first contract, which means you can spread resources around to things like the offensive line. Okay. When are we going to start talking about the advantageous nature of the 5th year of control for running backs as well as quarterbacks, like we always do? Inevitably, at the end of the first round, what are we going to talk about if Will Levis is still on the board? Well, you're going to want that 5th year of control, and first round versus second round.
Hendon Hooker will be having that conversation a week from tonight, too.
Exactly. So when does that start with running backs? Because it's pretty clear to me, you look around the league and these top-end running backs, everyone's hesitant to get them to their second contract. When are we going to start talking about getting dynamic offensive threats with a 5th year of control?
And the running back position, it's tough to think that that's going to be the position that would lead that charge. Maybe, I don't know, because the receiving group usually is deep in a draft, one would think, although you're hearing that this year's not as much as previous years. Although somebody like Jalen Hyatt jumps out at me, Zay Flowers. These are the names of guys who can, went viral over the past 24 hours that Mahomes was throwing past to Zay Flowers. And here come the Chiefs.
He was one. Also, Quentin Johnston was with him at one point.
Exactly. That's another one, although I don't need to hear his name very much. He ruined a certain particular bowl game for me.
Well, the replay officials ruined it.
I like that answer, Joe. Good answer, as we say on Family Feud.
Geez.
Good answer. I appreciate that. But yes, because the running back position, and again, I'm happy to have this conversation if there's time a week from tonight or the Friday night of the draft as well. I mean, how in the world is Austin Eckler, who the only person who scored more touchdowns over the last couple of seasons than him is nobody, and Jalen Hurts is the only one who scored more touchdowns than him last year, and so he's trying to get a new contract out of the Chargers, and they're saying no, you can go look for somebody else to go, play for if you can find that team. I just don't know. And again, Isaiah Pacheco scored a touchdown in the Super Bowl. So did Sky Moore, and they weren't even remotely close to the first round of the draft. And it'll
be interesting.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.